Hello, my name is Michael Porteous. I'm the Product Manager for Learning Technologies in Australian Higher Education. Welcome to this webinar on MyLab Transition, where we'll be showing you the benefits of using Pearson's new MyPsychLab. Now, this should only take about 15 to 20 minutes, but I hope that we'll not just impart what the MyLab can do, but how it can be effectively integrated into your teaching to achieve measurable results as well. So I've left everyone on mute for the time being so I can move through this presentation quickly, but I appreciate you're going to have questions along the way. So please use the webinar chat system to ask a question, and at the end of the presentation I'll answer as many of those questions as I can. So what is this new MyLab? How is it different from previous Pearson technologies, and what can it really do for you? So the new MyPsychLab for the second edition of Lilienfeld is not just a glorified test bank, as many class technologies are, or just a place to dump media in the hope students might find and use them. When we designed these MyLabs, we started from the ground up to create something that fits your course needs as best as we can. Pearson Australia has done extensive course outline research across the nation, along with in-depth interviews and surveys with instructors from psychology schools. And this has given us a set of learner outcomes that reflect the common themes and trends in first-year psychology, and that are the foundation for the entire product offering, aligning the book and the MyLab technology together. The result is something that we stand behind as an effective learning and teaching tool. The same experience runs across most Pearson technologies in first year, so it brings a unified experience for your students as well. Most importantly, however, it will help your students achieve understanding of the underpinning discipline content, teaching them to think of psychology as a science, and how it fits into professional life. The system features also promote greater academic success, improved retention, and is backed by easy-to-use course management features. So knowing this, let's delve into the learner experience to see how your students will be able to achieve improved results and understanding using the MyLabs. MyPsychLab has three key benefits that students are going to see: personalised learning, motivation, and engagement. So personalised learning has become a major differentiator in student success. In our MyLab, students have access to a personalised study plan which is built from the analysis of a series of diagnostic tests as well as from the results of your own assignments. Now, this study plan directs students to the exact learning objectives they need to master, giving them a unique learning path to follow and complete. So we're using a marketing book example here because our PsychLab is currently in development and will be finished very soon, but the same system applies to psychology. The content is just different. So here we can see that students will get to practice questions that are broken down by the learning objective until they feel comfortable with it. They can do it over and over again until they hit Quiz Me to make sure that they master it. And this mastery-based learning takes them through the entire book effectively, the entire set of content that we put out, until they get to the end. And obviously if they master something in the diagnostic test or in a test that you assign for them, that's automatically ticked off their learning path and they don't need to do that. So every student only gets to do the things that they are struggling with and that they need more help with. So the MyLab also provides help at the point of learning with answer-specific feedback, hints, and links to appropriate learning resources to help diagnose their misconceptions and build the learner's understanding where they need it most. So we've got an example here of some feedback they get. So rather than just saying right or wrong or see this area of the textbook, we're trying to give them some sort of a hint on why they were wrong, help them with the learning process even if they did get the wrong answer. And this is an example of a hint. Just something to make sure that they can think about this, get their thoughts straight, and answer more correctly. So if they want to use the hint, then they can. But it's not going to be give them the answer. The MyLab also provides an adaptive learning experience called dynamic study modules that has been developed using brain science research. Now this is going to test student knowledge, provides robust feedback, and then enhances the learning experience by feeding them new sets of questions that have been adapted to their unique experience as well. So students, again, this is a management example, the psychology one will be fully adapted for the Australian market, but we'll be able to put in whether they're sure, whether they're partially sure, whether they don't know yet, and at the end of each set they get this feedback on why they got things right and wrong, and that helps the system then deliver a new set which will deliver them questions that they might need to learn and practice, but it will also deliver them some questions they might have already mastered to make sure they didn't just guess or take a stab at it. So the more they use it, the more sets, the more adaptive experience they get. And to add to all this online engagement, our new MyLabs are mobile friendly through your browser or through some dedicated apps. So they'll be able to use it on any device, anytime. So keeping students motivated can be a challenge also, especially for those in the transition from high school to university in that first year. Pearson's MyLabs provides a way to keep students engaged inside and outside the classroom with motivation tools and an easy-to-use interface. So here we see an example of a student dashboard that makes sure the students know their progress through the MyLab at any given time. It gives them a sense of progress and ownership of their learning. So you can see here what upcoming assignments they've got, their overall score, their progress through homework, quizzes and study plan, and their course timeline as well, with a mastery level set here which you can adjust. And you have customization of this dashboard as well, so you can take features on or off depending on if you like them or don't. So this is taken from a marketing title, but obviously the content will be all psychology related when the final version goes live. We also have another item to help with motivation in the badges or achievement system. It makes completing objectives within the MyLabs fun, gives them a target to aim for as well. So students can see the most recent achievements in the dashboard here, but they can also see a full list of achievements they can earn for consistent work and for excellent performance to encourage more learning. So without engaging content though, it can really be an uphill battle for the attention of your students when they've got so many other distractions in their life. This is where the MyLab provides you and your students with a diverse range of rich media that will capture their attention and bring psychology to life in their learning. So some of these include virtual tours of the brain and how it functions, interactive experiments and simulations, and they get to do these experiments and go through the process of doing them. There's also a link to the global data from all the students that have participated in these experiments, so you can see that data building in the background. And we also have a huge range, library of videos and animations on all aspects of psychology for students and academics to use. So we believe that these assets will engage your students with real-life, relevant, scientific and application-based learning. Speaking of engagement though, how do you engage students in the classroom? What captures and holds their attention? What makes them come to class? How do you even measure engagement and learning in a classroom situation? So to help with this sort of classroom engagement and learning aspect, our MyLabs now come with a bring your own device student engagement and assessment system called Learning Catalytics. This gives you the tools to promote active learning and peer learning in a classroom setting. So students using Learning Catalytics, rather than sitting back and expecting to have content pushed at them, students can expect class to be interesting, challenging, and will make them think and interact. We've already seen a significant increase to attendance and student interest in face-to-face teaching around the world with this system, and I'll speak a bit more about this later. Now, we do, however, realise that learners, especially in the first year, are not yet as independent as we might like them to be. You also might have extremely large courses, and perhaps having less face-to-face time as more aspects of your teaching are moved online. Now, these challenges can be more manageable with a MyLab from Pearson, providing with a simple and supported solution. The three benefits that you as an instructor get from our MyLabs could be summed up as streamlined course delivery and marking, easy and insightful data analytics, and engaging experiences, which I think is important for both academics and students. So first of all, MyPsychLab makes delivering learning activities for formative or summative assessment very simple and easy. First of all, Pearson MyLabs integrate with all major learning management systems. It provides a single sign-on experience for students, allowing single-click access from your course to our systems without the student even noticing. It even allows our gradebook to synchronise with your learning management system gradebook as well. All your students are going to need is an access card and a course ID from when you set up the course initially, and then they can roll into your course, and after that it's all very, very simple. Alternatively, we can work with your faculty to implement a fully integrated system where students are automatically enrolled into the correct subject based on your LMS information, and this could take away every aspect of administration in regards to the MyLab. The MyLabs, excuse me. So the MyLabs make creating learning tasks simple with a 3-step process. First of all, you create an assignment for formative or summative assessment, and then you decide how this links with the study plan and other assessments too. So you can make sure that helps populate that study plan, making that personalised learning even stronger. Alternatively, you can set it up to create a writing assignment that allows for streamlined rubric-based marking, peer review, and plagiarism checking through Turnitin for assisted graded essay assignments. And here's just an example of what that might look like. So students can enter their assignment and you mark it based on a bunch of different rubrics which we have create, or you can create yourself. Gives them a final score which you can then modify. You can also put comments within their assignment. The second step for a regular assignment, though, is to choose relevant and engaging content from our library. This content includes traditional multiple choice questions, but also media assignments with engaging case videos, and all of the content is tagged to APAC graduate outcomes. So you notice here this is from marketing, as I said before, but there's a standards view, and obviously business have their own, and you guys have the APAC standards as well. So we make sure that you can view all of our content based around those standards. You can break it down by the chapter of the book, the learning objective, show which types of questions you want, or even create your own questions or modify our own. And this is an example of just choosing your content. You literally click on these to view the question that you want, see if it's appropriate, and add it to your assignment. So you see there's regular questions, media type questions, and various other type questions which you can then modify as you go. So really easy just to choose the things that you like, that you believe will be interesting, and add them to the assignment. Lastly, you'll be able to set a range of parameters on how students engage with the assignment, how they're marked, and how it's delivered. So here we've got things like obviously the availability, due date, different scoring options for late submission, partial credits, access controls. There's actually more options that go off the screen here that I could not fit. So this has all been based on what academics have told us they need in a system over a decade of use of this particular platform. So there's a lot of ways that you can modify this to fit into your teaching. So the data and analytics and abilities of our MyLabs are also a key part of a solution that allows you maximum visibility into your students' performance and your own teaching in an easy to use and simple way. The gradebook in our MyLabs does just more than just stores the marks from assignments, for instance. It also allows multiple reports that at a few mouse clicks gives you insight into your class as a whole, or insight into individual students right down to every answer they submit into the system. This can help you see which concepts your students might be struggling with, provides defensible grading, and allows you a tool to find struggling students early enough to intervene before they drop out and become a lack of retention statistic. So here we can see overviews by student, a report on the study plan, chapter, even performance by standards if you're looking into how well they're doing at those APAC standards, and also inactivity alerts. So if you see students that are not engaging in the system, you can very quickly find out who they are very early to make sure that your tutors or yourself can get in touch with them. And also any work that needs grading from those writing assignments is listed there as well, and many more options. This is an overview by student. All of these blue links allow you to delve deeper into that particular student or that particular assignment. So there is absolutely maximum visibility. You can go as granular as you want or keep it as high level as you want. Not to mention we have a lot of visual reporting as well, which can show you how your students are doing in their course, who are high achieving, who are in the mid-range grades, and who are obviously not doing so well. Not to mention we also go down and look at each assignment view as well, and you can see how long students are taking to complete that assignment and what their average scores are. So you can see very quickly whether students are finding it too easy, too difficult, or you see if there's some discrepancy there, which you can view by assignment. You can also view them by students, so you can see what sort of quadrant they're in, whether they're doing well and spending a lot of time, doing well and not spending a lot of time, and so forth. And there's many more options in there as well. That's just a few examples. Pearson MyLabs now include a solution to engaging students in the classroom, which I mentioned before, called Learning Catalytics. So Learning Catalytics is a bring-your-own-device system that allows you to ask complex conceptual questions in class and have your students answer in real time. Now this goes far beyond the traditional clicker system, as it provides you with a pedagogy to drive active learning and peer learning in a lecture, tutorial, or even online with a range of different modes. So here you can see students can log in on their phones or any other device that they've got, laptop or tablet. You can deliver questions multiple times to them if you don't want to show them the answer. But the idea behind this is that you get to see what your students are thinking, how they're reacting. You know what they are struggling with, what they're not understanding, rather than just talking content at them and then hoping to find out that understanding comes later. In real time, you can see if the students are grasping this. There's even a little graph that if they say they don't know what's going on, they can click a button and it lets you know anonymously that they're lost. And if a lot of students do it at the same time, you automatically know now what your students are getting out of that lecture. All the data is stored as well, so you can go back in and look at the analytics behind that, and students can go back in and review their own classes as well. So the student feedback from the answers and voluntary interactivity in the system can really allow you to change the way you teach away from that static content delivery to a dynamic and different experience with better outcomes for learners that make them really want to attend lectures and tutorials. And this is an example of the different modes that it can do. This is the classroom mode. This is an automated version of that, self-paced versions, and even team-based assessments if you want to run team assignments through the system too. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to mention, is what makes it really different from the clicker systems is that there are not just, multiple choice, true or false. There are actually 18 different question types that you can assign. So lots of different ways to ask questions and different ways to get them to think critically rather than just take a stab at a multiple choice question. So it really takes it far beyond those traditional clickers. So I hope you now have an appreciation of what a Pearson MyLab can do for you and your students. However, no tool can produce a measurable outcome without being used properly. So when implementing a MyLab into your teaching, I would strongly encourage you to look into our MyLab best practices that have provided the best results for millions of users around the world. Pearson is in the business of proving the efficacy of our products so that you can be confident in using them and that we can offer more insights into how to make the most of the technology in your teaching. So with our collected evidence and stories from successful MyLab implementations around the world, we can offer you a few critical insights that can help. So knowing this, you might be wondering how you can do this, what help you can get. How does Pearson support you when you have a new technology and possible changes to how you deliver your course? We're really aware that change can be very difficult and you have a huge amount of different responsibilities as an academic. So it's in Pearson's best interest to make sure that you and your students are fully supported so that we can see those measurable learning improvements from your students and we can see that your teaching is being made more efficient. So to help with this, Pearson have dedicated teams ready to support the transition. We have field-based consultants and learning technology managers that can help you out on campus. We have office-based customer experience team who deliver personalised training and pedagogical help and implementation. And we also have IT specialists who work with your IT teams to achieve that LMS integration I talked about. And on top of this, we even have a dedicated local team of technical support for academics and students that you can call in business hours. And if it's outside business hours, we also have a 24/7 support website, so you can access email and chat systems there to get help if you need it. All these services are here to make sure that everything runs smoothly for you and your students. So I hope that's given you some insight into what the new MyPsychLab can do for you and your students, and it's given you some ideas on how it could fit into your teaching for best effect. So you might have a few questions. I'm going to answer as many as I have time for, and anything that I run out of time or I don't have an exact answer for, I'll get some information and we will email you back later for everybody to see what the answer will be. So if you use the chat system, just make sure we're not talking over top of each other. If you've got any questions, pop it into the question pane and I'll answer that. I'll just leave that open for a moment. No questions so far, unless you're still typing. No, that's okay. If you have any questions that you haven't had a chance to type out though, then feel free to contact me. We'll make sure that we follow up with everybody as well. I'm just going to put this back, move to the next section. Okay, thank you very much. I hope that this presentation has given you a bit more insight into the details of MyPsychLab. I just wanted to close by thanking you all for your time and your interest. It's been a pleasure to run this session for you, and hopefully it's given you a sense of Pearson's commitment to the learner and the educator as well. We will be following up with an email to the recording of this webinar and further information if you'd like to share it with your colleagues. You should also expect to be contacted by one of our consultants soon to make sure that you can get some personal addressing of your course needs to see if a MyLab solution would work for you. But if you have any urgent requests or questions, please contact marketing@pearson.com.au and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you. Have a great day.